Well, good evening. Welcome back to the channel. Your host, Flywheels, back in the chair for the October 17th, 2025 edition of our affordable group breaks with a hobby box of 1994 Score Rookie and Traded. $10 cards per pack, 36 packs per box, Gold Rush parallel in every pack. So whereas the last 2 weeks we had limited packs and limited cards, we should see plenty of cards tonight. Maybe not the most sexy pick of a product to open, but it fits in that affordable category that I like to work within to a T. So as a reminder, there is still, I think it's a fairly elusive card, the Alex Rodriguez call-up. Technically not a rookie, but one of his early cards. It does not print the odds on the box, and I don't remember what the odds are. But if we do happen to pull it, then each team that you may have claimed tonight is an entry into a drawing for that. So if we get that, then everybody has a shake at it, a chance at the card instead of just the Mariners. So anywho, got everything printed out and ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get started here. And I just noticed that old price tag, 2 for $87. I love 90s Pinnacle stuff, but this set's a little bright. It's a little out there. And the rookie class of 1994 kind of sucks balls. So it's not the greatest checklist, but these update sets, well, what they call them now, you get some players and uniforms that empty box that may not have stuck around with that with that team they were traded to, like the next year. So get maybe some unique cards, and of course there's the Gold Rush parallel to chase. Let's see. Changing Places, 10 card set for exciting trades and free agents prior to and during the 94 season. Changing Places are 1 in 36, so we should see one of those. Rookie Redemption, special card featuring 1993 first round draft pick that's called up to the major leagues by the end of September. 1 in 240, so I think that's the call up, or that's what I call the Rodriguez. Super Rookies are hobby exclusives, 18 cards featuring the hottest rookies of 1994, done in Scores exclusive Gold Rush process. 1 in 36. So we should see a Changing Places, we should see a Super Rookies, and then who knows beyond that. But good luck, everybody. If you are not familiar, this is a departure, quite a drastic departure from the 1994 Score design. It's a 90s design, which I really don't mind, though the first name is in a script, and then you get the block letters for the last name, so it does make it a little hard to read on the front. I probably will have to flip many of these over to be able to figure it out. Well, and you know what? It's the same on the back. So, well, just bear with me, guys. But up first for Milwaukee, we got, I think, Mark Kiefer. Okay, that's the rookies. Yeah, I forgot the rookies have the different design. And then the veterans have a little bit more basic design, if you will. Tom Berninsky for the Red Sox. And then we've got Greg Blosser, Red Sox. Oh, we got a good gold rush to start us off. Deion Sanders for the Reds. White Sox, Scott Sanderson, Roberto Kelly for the Braves. We got John Hudak, Astros. Reggie Jefferson, Mariners. Chris Gomez for the Tigers, and Jack Armstrong for the Rangers. This isn't a giant set either, so we should see we'll probably see some dupes. Trying to remember his first name. Matias Carrillo for the Marlins. We have Darren Oliver for Texas. We have Tom Marsh for Philly. We have a Seth Brown Gold Rush for the Toronto Blue Jays. Turner Ward for Milwaukee. Spike Owen, Angels. Domingo Cedeno, Toronto. Junior Felix, the Tigers. Dennis Martinez for the Tribe, and Bip Roberts, Padres. Terry Longmire, Philly. Mark Newfield, Mariners. Tom Bernanski again. Hey, we got a Manny Ramirez Gold Rush for the Tribe. Stan Javier for the Athletics. Klesko for the Braves. Rex Hudler for the Angels. Jeff Treadway for the Dodgers. Denny Hawking for the Twins. And Solomon Torres, the Giants. This set has always appealed to me. I don't know why. And when initially I bought this box for myself, but I just got too much going on to do any set building, and I hated the box just sitting there. So I figured, nah, I got it for a song. So I figured let's do one of the really cheap breaks, booster up the card count for some of you guys. Rob Butler for the Blue Jays. We got Keith Lockhart for the Padres. Jeff Juden for Philly. We have a Jeffrey Hammonds Gold Rush for the Orioles. Mike Harkey, Rockies. Tony Pena, Indians. Turk Wendell, Cubs. Otis Nixon, Red Sox. Marvin Freeman, Rockies. And Dave Henderson for the Royals. Alex Diaz, Milwaukee. Chan-Ho Park, Dodgers. We got Melvin Nieves for Padres. We have a Keith Mitchell Gold Rush for the Mariners. Here's the Jeffrey Hammonds base. Sid Bream, Astros. Craig Perkle, maybe, Mariners. Brett Boone for the Reds. Tony Tarasco, Braves. Eric Anthony, Mariners. Matt Wallback, Minnesota. Dave Maselli for the Pirates. Steve Traxel for the Cubs. Hey, a gold rush, Ricky Henderson for the Athletics. Nice. Harold Reynolds for the Angels. We have Shane Reynolds for the Astros. Luis Polonia for the Yankees. Tim Hires, Padres. Jose Vizcaíno for the Mets. And a Jorge Fabregas for the Angels. Greg Blosser, Alex Diaz, Chan-Ho Park, Tony Fernandez, Gold Rush, Reds. And, we got a super rookies, or a super rookie, Rich Becker for the Twins. I don't think I have seen these cards before. And Johnny with an H. Grab the Twins in this break. Jack Morris, Indians. We got Rondell White for the Expos. Omar Vizcaíno for the Indians. John Valentine for the Brewers. And Will Clark for the Rangers. So one of our 1 per box inserts has been uncovered. Rich Becker. Brian Anderson, for the Angels. Jim Edmonds, Angels. Carlos Reyes for the Athletics. Matt Masecki, Gold Rush. The Brewers. We got Eddie Zambrano for the Cubbies. Dan Wilson, Mariners. John Patterson for the Giants. Roger Salkeld, Mariners. Lee Smith for the Orioles. Brian Harper for the Brewers. Scott Sanders, Padres. Norberto Martin, I believe, the White Sox. Steve Royer for the Cardinals. Eddie Taubensee, Gold Rush for the Reds. Greg Hibbard, the Mariners. Gerald Williams, Yankees. Ellis Burks, Rockies. Eddie Taubensee, base. So a Kevin McReynolds for the Mets, and a Steve Karsay for the Athletics. We got J.R. Phillips, Giants. Lee Tinsley for the Red Sox. John Ruffin, Reds. We got a Tim Hires Gold Rush for the Padres. Walt Weiss for the Rockies. Raul Mondesi, Dodgers. Eddie Murray, Indians. David Segui for the Mets. Stan Javier, Athletics. Ryan Klesko for the Braves. Another Melvin Nieves, Scott Sanders, Roberto Martin, Dave Stanton Staten, Gold Rush for the Padres. Wes Chamberlain for the Red Sox. Jerry Brown, Marlins. Chris Sabo for the Orioles. Sterling Hitchcock, Yankees. Delano DeShields for the Dodgers. And a Derek Parks for the Twins. Fernando Vina, Mets. Joe Hall, White Sox. Kelly Stinnett for the Mets. We have a Gold Rush Eddie Murray. Nice. Danny Bautista for the Tigers. Eric Hansen, Reds. Rich Rowland, Red Sox. Darren Jackson, White Sox. Jeffrey Hammonds, Orioles. And Sid Bream, Rockies. There's Steve Traxel, J.R. Phillips, Lee Tinsley, Rich Becker, Gold Rush for the Twins. Cliff Floyd, Expos. There's the Deion Sanders, Mike Harkey for the Rockies. Tony Pena, Turk Wendell, Otis Nixon. Keith Lockhart, Brian Anderson, Melvin Nieves for the Padres Gold Rush, Rick Sutcliffe for the Cardinals, Chris Turner, Angels, Paul Miro for the Orioles, James Mouton for the Astros, Tony Fernandez, and a Javier Lopez for the Braves. Good thing is these cards are not bricking whatsoever. There's a Dan Maselli, Steve Traxel, J.R. Phillips, Eric Anthony as the Gold Rush for the Seattle Mariners, Harold Reynolds, Shane Reynolds, Luis Polonia, Tim Hires, Jose Vizcaíno, Jorge Fabregas. So as suspected, hitting lots of dupes. Joey Hamilton for the Padres, Mike Kelly for the Braves, Tony Usato for the Astros. That's a name I haven't said in a while. Reggie Jefferson, Mariners Gold Rush, Jack Morris, Rondell White, Omar Vizcaíno, Jose Valentin, Will Clark, Anthony Young for the Cubbies. John Ruffin, Nate Mincy, John Mabry. Cardinals, we have a Scott Sanders Gold Rush for the Padres, Terry Mulholland for the Yankees, Hector Carrasco for the Reds. There's the Bo Jackson Angels, Lenny Harris for the Reds, Ricky Henderson Athletics, and a Bob Hamlin for the Royals. Is that the first Royals card tonight? Jim Edmonds, Carlos Reyes, Fernando Vina, Sean Green Gold Rush for the Blue Jays, Greg Hibbard, another Gerald Williams, Ellis Burks, Eddie Taubensee, Kevin McReynolds, Steve Carsey. Hey, we got a viewer. Hello, viewer. Lee Tinsley, Red Sox. John Ruffin. Kiefer. We have is it Domingo Cedeno, Gold Rush. We have a Dennis Martinez, Bip Roberts, Walt Weiss, Roel Mondesi, Eddie Murray, David Siggy. Hey, good evening, Victor. Thanks for stopping by, even if you don't have a dog in the fight tonight. All righty, we got our next one per box insert, Changing Places, Will Clark for Texas. Yeah, Victor, I was saying earlier, I've always strangely been attracted to this set, but the checklist leaves a lot to be desired. The 94 rookie class was not great. So other than a handful of veterans that changed teams. Yeah, the set's checklist leaves a lot to be desired, but I've always loved the design, the wild colors. I mean, I love 90s baseball cards. Just don't know what to say. I think that's Mark Hutton. The Yankees, Brian Hunter. The Astros, there's a Norberto Martin, Gold Rush for the White Sox. Sterling Hitchcock, he's Delano DeShields for the Dodgers. Derek Parks, Felix Fermin, the Mariners. Cliff Lloyd, Expos. And Neon Deion Sanders. We got some Mark Newfield, a Tony Longmire, Troy O'Leary for the Brewers, Pedro Martinez, Gold Rush for Expos, Martin Freeman, Astros, Dave Henderson, Royals, Danny Bautista for the Tigers, Eric Hansen, Reds, Rich Rowland, Darren Jackson, White Sox. Some new names in that pack. Joe Hall, Kelly Stinnett. We have Mike Oquist for the Orioles. Jeff Treadway is the Gold Rush for the Dodgers. Doug Jones for Philly. Mark Smith for the Orioles. Bobby, is it Ayala? The Mariners. Sean Green, Randy Milligan, Alex Cole. John Mabry, Nate Minchie, Troy O'Leary. Gold Rush is a Stan Roy, I think, for the Cardinals. Steve Farr. Paul Shuey, Indians. There's another Pedro. Greg Colbran for the Fish. Julio Franco for the White Sox. And a Sid Fernandez, Orioles. Got 1/3 of the box left after this pack. There is a checklist. Marcus. There we go. Marcus Moore for the Rockies. Yeah, some of these are really hard to read. Paul Spoljaric. There's a Pete Smith for the Mets. Gold Rush. Kurt Abbott for the Fish. Billy Taylor. Athletics. Another Pete Smith. Howard Johnson. Carlos Delgado. Willie Banks. Font is in first name funky font, small font, and my old eyes. Not a good combination. There's the Matias Carrillo, Tom Marsh, Matt Walback. Oh, that's a good one. Chan-Ho Park, Gold Rush for the Dodgers. Kevin McReynolds, Steve Carsey, Turner Ward, Spike Owen, Roger Cedeno, Domingo Cedeno, and Junior Felix for the Tigers. If there's more than one Delgado, you can reach out to Chad. He closed out the break tonight and ended up with the was he playing for the Blue Jays? So he might spare one. Oh, excuse me. Alex Gonzalez. There's is it Riquet Fanyet? Or I don't know. Never knew how to say his name. Miguel Jimenez for the. We got a Gold Rush Marvin Freeman, Jeff Treadway, Denny Hawking, Solomon Torres, Wes Chamberlain, Jerry Brown, Chris Sabo. Fernando Vina, Joe Hall, Kelly Stinnett, James Mouton, Gold Rush for the Astros, John Patterson, Roger Salkeld, Lee Smith, Brian Harper, Vince Coleman for the Royals, and a Manny, a base Manny, Manny base. Mike Kelly, Joey Hamilton, Tony Eusebio, Tom Brunonsky, Gold Rush for the Red Sox, Terry Mulholland for the Yankees, Hector Carrasco, Jackson, Lenny Harris, Ricky Henderson, Bob Hamlin. Trying to speed it up here a little bit. Again, it's a fairly small set. I think it's under 200 cards. Lots of dupes, of course. Carlos Reyes, Fernando Vina, Kelly Stinnett. Ellis Burks is our Gold Rush for the Rockies. Chris Gomez, Jack Armstrong, Greg Hubbard, Gerald Williams, Ellis Burks, Eddie Taubensee. Keith Mitchell, Matt Masecki, Dave Staton, Luis Polonia, Gold Rush for the Yankees, Raul Mondesi, Eddie Murray, David Seguí, Stan Javier, Klesko, Rex Hudler. Matias Carrillo, Mike Oquist, Tom Marsh, Greg Blosser, Red Sox, Jerry Brown, Sabo, Sterling Hitchcock, Delino DeShields, Derek Parks, Felix Furman. Something Hutton for the Yankees. Brian Hunter, another checklist. Raul Mondesi, Gold Rush for the Dodgers. We got Sid Bream, Greg Perkle, Brett Boone, Tarasco, Eric Anthony, and a Jody Reed with a Ken Griffey cameo. Drew Hall, Mike Oquist, Darren Oliver, Doug Jones, Mark Smith, Bobby Ayala, Sean Green, Randy Milligan, Alex Cole. 3 to go. Mark Aker, Charles Johnson. Oh, we got the call up. I swear, I thought that the A-Rod was pack. I thought he was a packed out. Had to mail this with a check for $1.95. Offer expires January 31st, 1995. Well, dang. I mean, it's still kind of cool we pulled it, but Gold Rush is an Alex Diaz for the Brewers. Steve Farr, Paul Shuey, Pedro, Griffin, Julio Franco, Sid Fernandez. And what was that? One in like 200 packs? 240 packs, so beat the odds for sure, but I could have sworn it was a packed out card. Darren Oliver, Matt Wahlbeck, Dan Maselli, Chris Sabo, Gold Rush for the Orioles, Xavier Hernandez for the Yankees, Mark Portugal for the Giants, Robert Einhorn, Yankees, Brian Hunter, Pirates, Rich Becker for the Twins, Dave Magadan for the Fish. Final pack. Yeah, Victor, I mean, it's still cool to pull the card. We, like I said, we beat the odds, but sometimes these sets or you think you know them, so you don't bother to research them. And then you get live on camera and you find out that you're wrong and you don't know as much as you thought. Paul Spoljeric, I don't know. Rob Butler. Final Gold Rush is a Dan Wilson. Scott Sanderson, Roberto Kelly, Jeff Hudak, Reggie Jefferson, Chris Gomez, Jack Armstrong, and that is how it goes. So we hit all three inserts, if you will. The call up, Will Clark changing places, and the super rookie Rich Becker for the Twins. Not some names, but the call up, we will still random that off, as I had said at the beginning of this. So for every team that you purchased, you'll have one entry. So at least somebody can take that home. But I'll look these three up on trading card database just to see if they need images. But we had some decent Gold Rush. I mean, I always like these parallels. I mean, the first card was Deion Sanders, so that's not too shabby. We got a Manny Ramirez Gold Rush. We got the Ricky Henderson Gold Rush. Got Eddie Murray. Sean Green. Got the Pedro. So we got some decent names. Several veterans mixed in with the young bucks. So all in all, I enjoyed it, and that was fun. Yeah, hopefully I had it priced accordingly. And as I also mentioned in the comments, the proceeds from this break, I'm going to be making a donation to Dustin Abraham's Super Collector group. I know Victor's in that group. I know Ben Martin's in that group. And I'm sure there's a few others that I'm just not thinking of that actively participate in my group, are also in the Super Collectors group that Dustin has. And he's got a contest where they're taking donations to basically buy something on someone's PC or for someone's PC. And I think as of earlier today, I think they were up to about $150 or give or take. So I got to crunch the numbers and see what this generated tonight. It's not going to be much because I priced it low because I didn't pay a lot for the box. So, but I should be able to make like a $5 or $10 donation to that other little contest. So figured it's the least I can do to help out some fellow collectors. But there's our big old stack of base. So got plenty to separate, plenty to organize. Right now, I do not have anything else in hand that doesn't. I'm not going to say we're not going to break next week. But I got to find something. Hopefully I can find something this weekend. But still haven't been able to get up to Money Hole yet to see what new old stuff they have out on the shelves. But I'll eventually get there. But in the meantime, thank you for your support. Thanks for hanging around or watching the replay. And I will catch you back here hopefully next week. So just stay tuned to the group for an announcement if we're going to break next week or not. In the meantime, I'll also try to work on a video, for drawing or whatever for the September call up, just because. All right, guys, know how to find me if you need me. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and we'll see you hopefully next week. Take care.